In Pokemon, the goal is to catch every single Pokemon and put it in this stupid little Android iPhone thing called the Pokedex, and then you give it to this one Professor Oak guy who tells you that there's a time and place for everything so that he can tell you that you've become a Pokemon Master. To do this, you chuck these red and white balls at Pokemon. The chance to capture them is based on how low of HP they are, whether or not they're sleeped or paralyzed, and how strong of a Pokemon they are. Once you've played the game long enough, you realize that there's a process to this. Just lower the HP, put that status on to paralyze or sleep them, throw a couple of red and white balls, or maybe even some yellow and white and blue and white ones, and you've got yourself a Pokemans. But obviously, there's a chance to catch them every time. And you can fail even when you've increased that chance to 99.99%, just like every other thing of chance in this world. But luckily for us, Pokemon trainers, Professor Oak, who has told us there's a time and place for everything, has provided us with this nice device called a Masterball, which has one use to catch a Pokemon at 100% every time you use it. But the problem is, he only gives you one because he only has one. Now you gotta ask yourself the question, who do I want to use it on? We've added a layer of stress, which is making the decision of where to use that 100%. But for the most part, the Master Ball is a shortcut. It's a 100% chance that I will get what I want. Now here's the thing, the Master Ball lets us skip the entire process. And obviously the reason they only give you one of these in the game is because it would take away the fun of the game. I remember when I got my first Action Replay and Game Shark, and hell, even used MissingNo back in Red and Blue, there was a chance you could duplicate or turn your Master Balls into Cloud Sky Circle, which ultimately meant infinite amount of Master Balls. While this sped up the process and it took out the effort of me having to catch the Pokemon, the game started to lose meaning. Getting those Pokemon almost meant nothing. There was no trial to complete. There was no reason to have to get a specific team that would allow me to capture Pokemon easier. And because the game is relative based off of the strength of the Pokemon, this ultimately meant that every single Pokemon began to lose value. Now here's the thing. If you're trying to use a Master Ball to reach your goal in real life, if you think that there's one thing, one specific answer, one shortcut, one thing that'll give you a 100% chance of getting what you want, and even if there was, would you be okay with it? Would you be okay with the end result? The real question to ask yourself in this case is, how much did it really matter to you? Obviously, if you're willing to use a Master Ball on this one thing, it already tells you you want it. But do you really want to use it? Do you really want to lose the value? Do you really want to lose the pride? Do you really want to lose that extra feeling of success and satisfaction when you finally achieved what you're trying to achieve? If somebody could take away all the excess weight, if somebody could give you the blessed muscles of Jonathan Joestar or Goku overnight, would it really matter to you anymore the next day? If Seto Kaiba happened to give you $7 million the next day, who's to say you wouldn't spend it all? So even though it takes that process, that effort to assemble a team and to create the process of lowering the Pokemon's HP, of paralyzing them or sleeping them, or maybe in our position it's working out, training, doing the research and doing what we need to do to accomplish our goals, that creates our identity. Because once we figure out how to do it, once we figure out that process, we solidify that research, we solidify what we need to do, and we execute, now we know we can accomplish it every single time. And even though it may take multiple Pokeballs, or multiple attempts, or multiple training sessions, we are creating that in ourselves. So even though there may exist a Master Ball method out there to achieve what we want, or to get what we want, or to be able to find the answers of what we want, there's nothing there to say that we won't lose that immediately after, because we haven't taken the time to understand how we got it in the first place. If we take the shortcut, say we get a bunch of money, we could lose that the next day. Say we get our muscles, we could lose that after atrophy of not using it. Say we find our answer, we won't know how to use it. If we don't know how to use it, we will eventually lose it. If it doesn't become a part of who we are, if it doesn't become of how we figured out how to get it, even though we found that shortcut, we're eventually gonna lose it. So why not figure out the process that will net us that money every single day? Find out the process that will create our muscles every single day. To find the process of research that will give us the answers that we're trying to look for every single day. And at the end of the process, I'm sure we will be able to have what we're looking for on top of being able to use it and keep it, and not just lose it to the shortcut from not knowing how to use it.